everybody for coming to our second annual State of Downtown. I'm quite grateful to see so many faces here who I know are really invested in the health and well-being of our neighborhood. That means a lot. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jen Estel. I'm the principal and creative director at Redhead Creative Consultancy and the proprietor at Nelson Gallery, which is down the street on Washington. And most importantly tonight, I am the president of the Downtown Lansing, Inc. Board of Directors. So nice to meet y'all. So a little bit of a story. I'll tell you, when we moved Redhead downtown and opened Nelson Gallery about 2 years ago, Washington Square, as I'm sure you can remember, was filled with metaphorical tumbleweeds. I mean, it was to the point where you could walk out during the lunch hour, you could look left, you could look right, and not see a soul. And we all know that that is not a healthy Main Street, and we all know that that is very scary, particularly for the proprietors who had been around for a moment. It was probably pretty bleak. We were new. We hadn't experienced the heyday, but we noticed. But we're here today to sort of update you on what I would call our tumbleweed status, or lack thereof. As someone who does look at Washington Square every single day, I can assure you things are changing. We can feel it, and we can see it. And we run into our neighbors on the street all the time, and it feels really good. The thing I want to talk about a little bit is good change, that lasting kind, the kind that downtown needs. It requires a few things. It requires a lot of strategy, a whole bunch of fearlessness, and a little bit of that entrepreneurial, well, what have we got to lose? We might as well try kind of attitude, which I think there's a lot of it down here. And here's what that sort of fearless, brave mindset has looked like in the past year. When it became clear to all of us that 8 to 5 in downtown would never look the same, we really started with advocacy, a lot of it. And last summer, our voices were heard, and as you all know, DLI's efforts paid off as we secured over $6 million to support downtown businesses in our entire district during this time of transformation. And I know. And as somebody who runs a small business, I always wonder about numbers. 6 million feels very big, and then to some places it feels very small. But let me tell you, how we're being able to use that for small businesses is a very, very big deal. And it's transformational, and we're very excited, and we're very thankful to our advocates and our leaders at the state who helped us get there. While that was happening, we set some really intentional goals with our strategic action plan, and I want to touch on just a few of them tonight. And the first I want to talk about is diversity, equity, and inclusion. We know two things. Number one, downtown is a really complicated place. It's a neighborhood in its own right. It's the center of the greater Lansing ecosystem. And as the state capital, it's not just ours. It belongs to everyone in Michigan, which we think is very, very important. And second, we know our community is stronger when we all thrive. And that's why we've been very intentional with our thoughts on the subject over the past year. We secured Dr. Linda Bailey, and if anybody's met her, she's fantastic, in this past year to help us explore our own biases and barriers, to really ensure that people belong here, that they feel included, that they feel heard, welcomed, and planned for. From our policies to our residential offerings, to our business mix and our programming, it's our responsibility to ensure that all feel welcome and comfortable and cared for in downtown Lansing. It's their space. It's all of our spaces. And so ensuring we achieve this goal is sort of an evergreen task. I don't think we'll ever be finished, and that's okay, but we take it very seriously. Next, we set a goal to make downtown Lansing a real downtown home by adding 2,000 residential units by 2025, which is a very big goal. The great news is we had nearly 200 residential units open last year, and quite a few are in the works right now. So projects are happening, people have stepped up, everyone is thinking differently, and it's exciting. We really continue to prioritize housing and have more people downtown 24/7, because we know that a healthy residential community supports a strong neighborhood economy. Our staff has worked diligently with local agencies, developers, small businesses, the city of Lansing to continue adding thoughtful housing to our neighborhood. And speaking of our staff, we are so lucky. You all know we can't make great strides without capacity. That's a word everybody knows, right? We all know what capacity means. But our DLI staff has done a transformational, amazing job at staying strong, taking methodical steps to move our plans forward, thinking big, leading with their hearts, from one-on-one engagement with local business owners out on the street, in the back of their shop, to bringing people and voices together around common concerns. All of our staff have done relentless work to stabilize, grow, and support our community, all while we work toward making a more equitable, inclusive, and prosperous downtown for everyone who calls it home. In short, I'm here to say that DLI has had a very intentional year. We've built foundations while keeping our eye on a horizon. We've been focusing on what could be and what should be, and then taking the steps to get there. And I'll tell you, I feel very strongly about why this matters, why we're all here tonight on what somebody pointed out is a very gorgeous day. Thank you for being here yet again. I personally believe, as I look at faces around the room that are working in all sorts of spaces and all sorts of avenues to make Lansing better, that you get out what you put in. Mediocre goals bring mediocre results. Bold goals make for bold outcomes. Commitment and enthusiasm breeds more of the same. And the folks that are here tonight, I know, feel that way too. And that's why I'm very pleased to introduce one of the most committed and bold people I know. Kathleen Edgerly is the Executive Director of Downtown Lansing, Inc. She's a veteran community builder and a consensus builder and pretty much somebody you want on your team. She's the one we trust to herd the cats, solve the problems, connect the dots, lead the way into that bright horizon, and clear out all of the tumbleweeds. She sweeps away all the things that are problematic and makes sure that they're taken care of and make sure that we're moving forward. So please join me in welcoming Kathleen.
Thank you, Jen. And thanks to all of our board members, Patricia from City Council, and I saw Jeffrey that could join us this evening, and to the amazing, amazing staff members that I get to work with each and every day. Thanks for everything that you put into today and all year long in downtown Lansing. As you have all just heard, but hopefully you have also seen over the past year, a lot of work has taken place. And all of you here this evening have been a part of this absolutely critical work. True, the road ahead is going to still be full of some hills to climb, and there's plenty of work yet to do, as we are only on the first leg of not just downtown Lansing's transition, but its transformation. Downtown still needs all of you, and our businesses need all of you to lift up local. Because as we all know, our state workers are still not back in the office full-time and may never be. Our different office spaces continue to have leases being canceled, and we'll have that happen down the line as well, which will greatly affect our market and definitely impacts the vacancy rate of our second story and above office spaces. So we need to continue to strongly advocate for the state and local leaders to commit funding to our capital city to address things like converting our office spaces into residential units where it makes sense. We all have to prioritize funding for the unhoused and those in need of aid as well. Because as Jen said, our community is not as strong as it can be unless we all have the opportunity to thrive and have the resources that we need. Thank you. It's why we're looking to our elected leaders, to take a hard look too at housing policy and commit resources to support those that are vulnerable, not just in our downtown, but across the city and beyond. And we also need to continue asking for funding for improvements that reflect a better, a more safe, accessible, and forward-thinking capital city. And when I say that, I mean things like safe sidewalks, wheelchair access, charging stations for electric vehicles, the list goes on, right? And we need to unify our voices and take a stand to no longer allow for blighted or vacant properties to remain as they are. Because a reimagined downtown takes us all caring for the places and spaces that we love to call home. And let's also focus on developing programs and funding opportunities that show our appreciation and reward those property owners who've been great stewards in the historic preservation of those spaces and places. Yeah, there are still many challenges that lie ahead of us. And this next year will require advocacy from all parties to help make downtown better for everyone. But we believe, and I believe many of you share this belief as well, that sometimes the hardest things in life are those things that are the most worth doing. So bear with me. What if, and I think I asked a what if question last year, so here we go. What if we imagined a downtown and focused our energy not on what we've lost, not on those who want to leave our downtown as quick as they can after their business hours, but instead focused on cultivating and creating a downtown district for those who want to be here. And for those who want to travel here, to travel to downtown Lansing instead of out of it. Middle Village, I'm pleased to share the highlights from Middle Village because it's just one of the ways that we're adding to that focus. Last fall and again last month, DLI staff members had the opportunity to travel and speak at a national and international stage about Middle Village Micro Market and the innovative entrepreneurial programs that are offered right here in downtown Lansing. Just a reminder, currently, the third cohort of Middle Village merchants are open and available for any of you who want to shop and lift up local. We're happy to report that 100% of the graduates of our past cohorts are still in business. It's a huge kudos to all of their hard work. And of that 100%, 80% of those businesses who have graduated have gone on to open storefronts in our downtown, and one of them even bought a building, which is tremendous. With 100% of our Middle Village merchants being women or BIPOC-owned businesses, together we're creating a business mix and a downtown that is more reflective of our residents as well as our visitors. It's definitely a large contributor to the shift that we're seeing in downtown Lansing's open hours going into the evening and weekends as well, which is so important. In addition to Middle Village, DLI staff, our board, our business development committee, property owners, city, LEDC are all really working together on strategic recruitment efforts. These recruitment efforts look at reaching out to businesses across the state who are looking to open a second, a third, a fourth location and want to call downtown Lansing their business home. Because we all want to have a capital city, Michigan's downtown, that is reflective of the people who call our state home. And I have to say those recruitment efforts are working. Last year, we had 11 new businesses open in downtown Lansing in the first floor retail spaces. This year already, we welcomed an additional 3 businesses, and just a couple weeks ago, we were with businesses, 4 new businesses who signed leases to open up in downtown Lansing by the month of June. So we're excited to welcome them to downtown as well, and this is the Lansing community. We have businesses from Detroit, Bay City, Ann Arbor who want to invest and be part of this downtown Lansing community and the reimagination. We envision a day where every city, every county across our state has one of their hometown gems located within walking distance of the Capitol building. So let's make that happen together. I do want to point out that this very intentional recruitment is also addressing the vacancy rate, the infill opportunities. When we were here last year at our first inaugural State of Downtown, we talked about a pretty lofty goal, decreasing the first floor vacancy rate by 50% by the end of 2023. I'm very thrilled to share that we're basically there. A year ago, we had 40% first floor vacancy rate, and right now we're at 20% first floor vacancy rate. And we definitely see everything's on track to get it lower by the end of this calendar year as well. So thank you to each and every one of you who've been a part of it, because we have to talk well about ourselves and why we're part of this community if we want others to do the same. Last year, speaking of last year, we also introduced that we would be kicking off a comprehensive market analysis with our friends and neighbors in Rio Town and Old Town. There's been a lot of work on that over the last year, and it's providing the data that's really behind our strategic recruitment efforts and those infill and vacancy rate reduction opportunities. And it's looking at these infill opportunities and building models that maybe haven't been done here or have been, and looking at what's going to work in downtown Lansing for the future and in Rehotown and Old Town for both commercial and residential properties as well. We look forward to sharing the results of this completed CMA at the end of June. It's the end of our fiscal year. We've talked a lot about newer projects and programs, but I'd be remiss if I didn't point out how important it is to recognize, support, and lift up, retain our businesses that have been part of our downtown Lansing neighborhood for a while, whether it's been a couple of years or it's been over 100 years. The retention of our businesses it plays a critical role in stabilizing our local economy, and we wanted to show all the support that we could. And that's why we worked so hard to advocate for and successfully secure over $6 million in state funding. And it's why I'm super excited to share that as of today, we've awarded $850,000 in small business support grants that went right out the door to our businesses. This funding is helping our neighbors, right? These people in places that help us call Lansing home and do so much in giving back to all of us, and DLI included. The small business support grants that we've awarded have ranged anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 per business, providing a windfall for our small businesses who not only made it through the pandemic, but now are working and looking at coming back even stronger for the future, whether that's bringing on new employees and being able to pay that payroll, bring on new technology, infrastructure, et cetera. The list goes on. Stay tuned, because by the end of this month, we plan on awarding an additional $150,000 in small business support grants, totaling $1 million that over the last 4 or 5 months have gone out to support our small businesses, and you'll see the long-term return on that investment for years to come. Now for something really exciting. Last year, we stood in the same location, and we talked a lot about what it would take to build a stronger and more sustainable future for downtown Lansing. Tonight, we are pleased to reveal an all-new business program designed to lift up our culinary entrepreneurs who are looking to establish their business, build a loyal customer base, and call downtown Lansing their home. And they'll do it right here in the space that we're all sitting in here tonight. That's right, the Mikado Club, a food incubator concept and culinary experience, will be coming to your downtown neighborhood and filling this entire vacant space. So I want to ask that Julie Reinhardt, members of IDE Development Company, Mikado Club participants, all join me up here as Julie, our Downtown Community Development Director, shares a few key highlights about this project, because everyone that I just mentioned has made this possible.
All right, we're going to do a little wardrobe change. There will be people coming around with for a toast later on, so they'll be coming up the aisles. So stay tuned. This group here is the initial group, the first cohort, the first group. You've been enjoying their food all day. We have several restaurants that are going to come here and be part of our downtown district 7 days a week. So. The Mikado Club was born out of the success of our retail incubator, Middle Village Micro Market. We did see some really good success with it, and we had a lot of food-based businesses that really wanted in. They wanted that soft launching point so that they could really gather the knowledge, practice their craft, and then open storefronts down the road. So Mikado Club will house 16 food-based businesses in a 2-year program where they will receive industry-specific education, as well as a reduced startup cost for them and marketing support and other things. It will be disguised as a ironically swanky food hall for the public. So, so come on down for that. I have a trivia question, because I like jokes. So does anybody know what the yellow and blue tile is on the face of the NAPS building? No? It's called Mikado tile. That's the name. So it's a historic building that we want to give nod to, and so we decided to call that. We're a club. It's a club of people that are doing great things together. So That's the name. We couldn't have done it without the support of many of our partners. So the state of Michigan was very generous in helping us with this project, as well as iDevelopment has been fantastically supportive. This is their space, and they have made 20,000 square feet available to us and to the participants to make their dream come true. So I'm a little nervous about this, but I'm going to hand it over.
You sure?
I'm a little scared.
All right.
But come on up.
I know. What could go wrong? Letting me on the microphone.
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
Thanks, everybody, for coming. My name's Nathaniel Ide. I'm with Ide Development. So I have a dog in the fight. I'm so excited to have this group here, as you can imagine. You're going to come back in and see what these artists and craftspeople are doing, and it's going to be very special. And so rather than expounding upon that, because they'll show you what they're going to do, I wanted to take a second and tell you or voice my recognition and high regard for what the people of Downtown Lansing, Inc. have been doing. I've told them on numerous occasions, your actions in terms of working with businesses have caused us to step out of our normal character, as we want X rent per square foot, we want this, we want that. When you see, well, I look at it this way. If someone had come to me with the types of problems that we're facing downtown, I would have been like a deer in the headlights. I would have frozen up. Governmental leaders, business leaders, big brains, they don't have the answers to solve for this. Here's a problem, Nathaniel. 38,000 some odd people who are downtown working are at home, and there's no plan for their ever coming back. And downtown is essentially cratered. What do you do? I don't know. You ask that same question to Downtown Lansing, Inc., and their response was, oh, I got it, let's go. It's incredible. It's incredible. Their answer to it was not to wait for people to come back. It was the Iowa baseball farm fields. Bring a superstar into the first floor of our building after 2 years of silence. I come down one day into Sweet Encounters, and there's a line out the door, and there are children laughing. My God, poor Nikki has me trying to hug her every time I see her at Sweet Encounters. She's like, okay, Nathaniel, that's good enough. It's crazy. There's an art gallery in our floor. Wait until you see what happens on this first floor. It's incredible. And there's been a lot of talk in the last 2 years about safety and how safety is very important. It was very important to us. There is nothing safe about these people here. These people are very, very brave. And that's what it's time for. It's time for bravery. I'm so excited, you guys. Thank you.
No, you're good. Gosh, thanks, man. Okay, so with that, the drinks are coming. You all received a special coin when you came in today. That coin, hang on to it. It will be your ticket to a special tasting that we're going to hold before we open. So you guys will be, you've already had a sneak peek, but you'll get a full tour and more from our chefs here, and we'll get to celebrate them. So hang on to that. We're hoping, I'm saying 6 months. They're telling me longer, but hang on. Yeah, hang on to it for a minute. All right, has everyone got a drink? All right. No.
Julie, hold.
Okay. Well, here we go. Here we go. All right. To the first toast at the Makata Club, may there be many, many more. So. Okay. So now I'm going to hand it back to Kathleen. Cheers. Thank you all.
Thank you all again to some of our future Mikado Club participants, again to the IDE Company, our board members. I see friends from the MEDC here who helped provide the funding. Definitely don't want to forget our mayor, who has been helping us lead through this whole time and help make this project happen as well. So just a few closing remarks, if you'll bear with me for a couple more minutes. tonight we've shared just a few of the highlights, and we're very, very excited about what's yet to come. So again, let's just remind our state leaders that downtown still requires continued funding, sustainable practices, and collaboration. Because after all, we're the capital city, and we're Michigan's downtown. So let's show it the love and support that it deserves so that we all continue to be proud to live here, to visit here, and just be part of the story that is supporting downtown Lansing. And I can promise you this, at Downtown Lansing, Inc., we're going to continue staying true to our vision, remaining committed to filling vacant spaces on all levels with all of our partners as well, lifting up local businesses, residents, and the community as we lead by example during this time of transformation. So we just hope that you'll join us as well to be part of that transformation. Cheers to all of you.